Hello, Lisa. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to post a video to your website, Tarot Solutions. I'm going to make this video a combination of narrating and ad-libbing, so there's no teleprompter, but I will be reading some of my story to everyone, because it's what I do best. That's what I love to do. So thank you again for giving me a chance to offer my services in numerology, as well as being able to explain to everyone the value of knowing what I like to call your number DNA, because everyone has one. 2 years ago, I was watching a YouTube video in which Dr. Phil had 3 guests. 2 of them were psychic mediums, and the third guest was Glynis McCants, who is known as the Numbers Lady. And after she gave a reading to a member of the audience, who, by the way, was blown away by the accuracy of her reading, Glynis made it very clear to explain that she is not psychic by any means, but that numerology is a scientific study of numbers, introduced by the Greek mathematician Pythagoras. So numerology has been around for over 2,500 years. So, of course, I'm a stickler for wanting to prove the authenticity of the system, and who better to tell you if something is accurate or not but yourself? So I did my own chart, and I studied the meaning of each number and where that number was applied, and just about freaked myself out with its blatant accuracy, some of which I don't like to admit. So I decided to take this a little farther. And by a little farther, I'm talking into my past relationships that didn't work out. So knowing the names of my exes and their birth dates, I was able to put their chart together and then compare our numbers. Now, don't get me wrong, the numbers that make up your chart are very accurate, and even though you may have fantastic numbers together, what truly can make them work or not work is what side of that number that they're living at the time. Are you living on the positive side of that number or the negative? And it's not that hard to figure out. Now, I don't know about anyone else, but I'm pretty sure that I was living on the negative side of a few of those numbers when I was in my 20s. And fair warning, if you suffer from physical or emotional abuse, or you or your partner struggle with some type of addiction, whether it be sexual, drugs, or alcohol, that part of anyone needs to be overcome before you can live the life you are supposed to be living. So it's not going to matter what your numbers say if those addictions are there. Numerology not only gives you a glimpse of your potential as a human being, but how to understand others and even deal with them in your everyday life. Whether it's a family, friend, coworker, your spouse, or someone you may be considering dating, numerology is going to tell you whether or not the person is projecting their true self. Because I'm going to tell you something. The number DNA we all fall in love with, which is called the attitude number, may not be the life that that person needs to live in order to be happy. The attitude number is the biggest deceiving number in your primary chart. But it's also the number that all of us fall in love with first. So is what you see truly what you get? Numerology will tell you. For example, my attitude number is a 5. So when people first sit down and get to know me, like what you do on a first date, I'm going to be projecting a number that says to the person, I like my freedom, I like to travel, I'm okay being by myself, we're going to have fun together. So let's say that what I project really strikes a chord with that other person. Now, I'm going to tell you that what you get when you first meet me is a contradiction of what will make me happy. So how many people out there have rushed into a relationship, moved in with the person, and then found out what makes that person happy is totally opposite of what the other person thought they were getting? How long do you think that relationship will last? You have to look at all the numbers that make up your primary chart to know what you can expect and answer the question, are we going to be compatible, or are we going to have a lot of challenges that could either make or break the relationship? So that's only one way of gaining insight through numerology. I introduced numerology in a staff meeting, and I had everyone figure out their life path numbers. Then I had each of the life paths stand up, and I told them what their numbers meant and how they might be perceived by others in their workplace. There are numbers that are a natural connection to each other, some that are compatible, and others that are a challenge. And throw in not knowing whether that person is living in the negative or on the positive side of that number. It's going to play in how well they get along with each other. It was a way to introduce everyone's diversity in a way where people got the concept of how judgmental they are with each other. And for 2 weeks solid, that's all they were talking about. And that's only one number. But it was one of the most important numbers in their chart. So I offer 2 types of readings, a single and a couple, if you're interested in comparing charts with another person. And the comparison doesn't have to be a love interest. It could be anyone. I've used it to better understand how my manager and I will get along. Understanding his numbers helps me not to jump to the wrong conclusion of what he is projecting outward, while also knowing what attributes are important to him. And it's a work in progress, because we're all human. We all have those triggers. But I gotta tell you, I don't judge him so harshly any longer, and I feel like we're getting along and working better as a team. I offer 2 different formats that you can receive your reading, a written form and a PDF file, or you can have your reading narrated. And because I gotta tell you, there's nothing better than sitting back and letting someone tell you the story of your numbers and the potential you have inside of you. I also have included some added bonuses of other questions you may be interested in knowing about your numbers, such as whether there is a soulmate connection with couples, what does the home you live in embrace, what is the best date to choose if you're thinking of getting married, what about repeating numbers in your chart, what does that mean? I have a lot of bonus questions for you to choose from. And for as long as my link remains on Tarot Solutions' website, I give all of Lisa's followers a discount on their readings. So if you have a friend who is interested in a reading, send them to Tarot Solutions' website and use my link. So Lisa has asked, can tarot and numerology work together? Absolutely. I would say to pay close attention to the numbers that make up your reading. Just as every card in a certain position has meaning, so does the number. And it may be that number that tells you how to approach the situation, or in what form it may make its appearance. So I hope you have found this video to be insightful, and I've piqued your curiosity, and I hope you give me the opportunity to blow you away. So thank you again to Lisa and Tarot Solutions, and I hope to hear from you soon.